Hi, my name is Claudette. I am a brand consultant in Port Elizabeth. I would like to tell you today my salvation story and the journey that I've been on since. To give you some context, background to my upbringing, I grew up in a very volatile, unstable home. I didn't have much of an experience with church. That which I had, I knew we were just going for the sake of tradition. And as I came into my teenage years, I became very rebellious, and I got involved with the wrong friends. I made terrible choices, life choices, and I also got into a relationship that led me down a 7-year journey of living a just outright sinful life, of drinking, smoking, partying, really living for myself, when all the while what I was really looking for was love, to be accepted, and to know that that there's more in this life than just the empty pursuits that I was experiencing at the time. But I definitely would not have categorized it or expressed it at that time like that. And so as I was carrying on in my life, during that time, my mom and sister got saved, and I saw how their lives were transformed and impacted by God. And so, in the peripheral of my life, I had that example that was playing out before me. Many times they tried to share the gospel with me, and I just rejected it. But deep down in my heart, I knew that it was true, but I pushed it away. I rejected that message. And so towards that towards the end of the 7-year journey, really, my life was even more out of control. I was basically on the verge of being an alcoholic, just like my dad was, just hanging out with the wrong friends. And I just knew that even though I was doing more and more, my life just felt more and more empty too. So during that time, my brother got saved as well. And he, as far as I was concerned, was living a life far worse than me before his salvation. And I saw how his life had turned around and how God had changed him. And for me, that was miraculous. So at that time, I got fired from my job, and just being at rock bottom, I had a lot of time to think. And as I was looking at their lives, I really called out to the Lord, and in the only way that I knew, because I had no experience of what it meant to pray, or to how to even to speak to God. But I just knew that I didn't want to be left behind, but I also wanted to make a genuine decision to follow Him and not live half-heartedly, because I knew I couldn't continue in my sin. And as I called out to Him, I just said to Him the one day, I really want to think about this, whether I want to give up this life and that I can really receive your gift of salvation. But I'm going to think about it this week. Please don't come back while I think about it. So the next day, as I was about to cross the road, only my sister was with me, and there was no one else around. And I heard an audible voice behind me say to me 3 times, I will wait for you, I will wait for you, I will wait for you. And I got the fright of my life. I knew that this was God. This was no joke. And I had to make a decision, because he was real. And so the next opportunity, I got to go to my brother's home cell, and then to church I went. There was a salvation call, and I responded to that. That was 21 years ago, and I've never looked back. I've never regretted the decision that I've made that day. And my life is really just a book of just the redemptive power of God, how He restores the broken heart, the broken soul, those who are downtrodden, just whose lives are spiraling into rock bottom, and just how it's not about coming to Him, first being right and then approaching Him. He's not looking for perfect people to approach Him. He's looking for sincere hearts. And He promises that when we seek Him with all of our heart, that we will find Him. So if you today are listening to this and you have heard the gospel before and you know that it's true, but you've rejected it up until now, I want to encourage you to call out to the Lord, because He will answer you. If you know somebody that knows the Lord, reach out to them. And if you don't, call out to him. He will answer you in one way or another and lead you to salvation. I hope that this, my story, has inspired you, encouraged you, and to also encourage you and inspire you to keep on praying for family members and friends that we know have not come to salvation yet.